Well, moving on now, and it's fair to say that smartphones are rewiring childhood with access to social media, completely altering the way that young people communicate.
So, as a parent, how can you effectively navigate your child's use of online platforms? Well, for more, we're joined by child psychologist and author, Dr. Deirdre Brandner. Doctor, morning to you. Lots of young people we know have really grown into this addiction to social media. Limiting their use of it is a difficult thing to do. How do you approach that conversation as a parent?
And you're so right. There are so many of our children constantly on their phones. When we have conversations with our children about this, we need to be curious, open-minded, and being really honest, like talking about our own addiction to our phones so that they can see that we're seeing this as a problem for our whole family. It's just not our kids' problem.
Yeah, okay. Deirdre, I know that one of the issues, and it was something that came up in the briefing notes, that parents are saying that their teenagers in particular, but kids as well, have difficulty even sitting down and watching an entire movie. And this is something that I think families have always done together, that we have sat down and enjoyed, movie night. But kids, because they're on social media all the time, they're used to things just being much quicker. They don't have the focus for that. Is the trick to then get on social media with them and connect with them in that way, or try and get them back into that place where they can focus on a whole movie and you can enjoy that all together?
Oh, look, that is a fantastic question. The idea of having screen-free time is really important. I mean, by all means, be your child's friend on Instagram. I don't know how popular that'll be. But what we really want to do is reconnect as a family. So setting a ritual in our family that Friday nights, Sunday afternoons, we're actually going to sit down and watch a movie together, let them choose the movie, and as a family commit to having time where we're just focusing on one thing.
My wife and I yell at each other if we're watching a movie and one person's snuck onto their phone.
Yeah, no.
She says, "Tools down."
Yeah, she's right.
Tools down.
Kenny's right.
So you've got to impose those sorts of things as a family too, Deirdre. But a big concern for parents is the type of content that children are actually exposed to while they're online. What is the advice that you give to parents and to kids about the things that they're actually seeing on social media?
Look, it's very alarming. I mean, the last couple of weeks with what's happening online, and our children are being exposed to that. We need to be able to check in with our children and for them to feel safe about coming to us when they've witnessed or seen something that's concerning. Because often children won't come to us because they think if they come and tell mum or dad that they've seen something frightening or scary or disturbing, that we're going to take the phone off them. So make sure that we have a relationship with our kids where they can come to us and talk about what they're seeing. And that's the most important thing here, conversations.
So I'm wondering how much that conversation, or the likelihood of being able to have that conversation, is broken if you have an adversarial relationship with your child around the phone. So you're taking it off them, for example. Again, in the briefing notes, one mum was saying, I'd love to take the phone off her for periods of time, but she becomes so aggressive with me. Do we have to just live with that aggression and do it anyway?
Oh, look, this is a problem that's facing so many of my families I know as a clinician. What we need to do is try to avoid the tug of war with the phone and having a system where we're having parental controls in place or internet use that's limited for certain periods of the time. We know that our teens become very territorial over their phones because they see that their connection with their friends. But knowing that when you're going to limit their phone use, they're actually going to get it back at a certain time. Kids are scared about handing over their phones for fear that they'll never see it again.
Deirdre, obviously excessive time on the phones or social media is a key thing to watch out for, but are there other key warning signs that sort of have come across your desk in your office that you're worried and you'd be pointing out to parents to watch out for?
We know that when children are spending more time on their phone and knocking back real life invitations to socialise, and that might even be with friends, particularly with us with families, we need to watch for that. The other part is when they've stopped doing things like following daily routines, like showering and eating and, getting their schoolwork done. And the third and most important thing is when we see reduced physical activity activity, when we've stopped doing things that they used to like to do, like, riding their bike or going down and kicking a football, when we start to see those behaviours, we can see that really that phone and social media has overtaken their world.
All right, Dr. Deirdre Brandner, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Well, moving on now, and she's one of the world's biggest music